Hi, Denise. How are you?
Oh, at last. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Really well, thank you. Yeah. Oh man, I tell you what, the business is going from strength to strength. It really is. You
Great.
know, I had a lady yesterday came to me for the first time, and she'd got complex feet. So she took off her socks and a whole load of stuff fell onto
Right.
all that stuff. And by the end of the session, she said, "Do you know, I could go out in sandals now."
Isn't that the best
I love,
statement?
love it. I love it. Love
Yes.
it. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, the whole reason to have these interviews with the alumni of the Meticulous Manicurist Pedicure certification is to celebrate you because you took this step to get better education to catapult your career. And so now I want to hear, how many months has it been since you finished taking the course?
So it was August of last year. Yeah. So it was while we were
So oh
in
yeah, you
lockdown.
know what? I think you were the very first person.
I
Because
was.
we had technical difficulties and I was still
That's
trying
right.
to, it was right
That's
in that we were doing the soft launch to make sure that I
yeah.
didn't sell this to thousands of people and then have all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So we
yes.
got it all worked out. So
We did. We did. Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where you're from, just so everybody gets a feel for who you are, because there's going to be potential clients watching from, they'll drive hours and hours to see you. I know that you've already had that happen.
I have, yeah, yeah. Okay. Hi, Laurie. My name is Denise Spragg. I'm actually based in the United Kingdom. I live and work in a fairly reasonable sized town called Taunton, not to be confused with Taunton, Massachusetts, as I know that some people will be listening from there. My husband and I set up our business, the Sangha House, in November 2016. We offer a range of services, so we offer yoga classes, Pilates, Tai Chi, meditation, exercise, all of those kind of things. And as well, we have a suite of 4 therapy and treatment rooms. So we offer massage, facials, reflexology. We offer things like hypnotherapy, also acupuncture and counselling. And I'm a trained manicurist and pedicurist. Wow. So things have been going pretty well, obviously up until the thing that we don't talk about.
The new C word.
For sure, absolutely. So when lockdown came, I'd been a fan of yours, I have to say, for, well, pretty much since the start. I came across you as someone looking on YouTube to see what was going on. I found you. I loved your videos right from day one. And then when I heard that you were starting the online academy, I just thought, I have got to do this. I've got to do this course because it just seems like such a great, intensive, personal service that can really change people's lives. We're a mindfulness-based centre. We operate along the lines of Buddhist philosophy, although we're not a religious house. And just being able to make those changes for people's lives just seemed like such a brilliant fit. So I took the course. I think I was one of your very first students.
Yes, you were.
Which I'm so proud about. I was definitely the first person in the UK to qualify, and I think I may still be. And since I've done your course, the business has gone from strength to strength. In the first week after I had gained the qualification and put it out there on my social media and my advertising,
Yes.
in the first week I gained, I think it was 17 new clients straight off the bat.
Wow.
I was just so thrilled. And now, I have new people coming to me all the time. We don't tend to drive quite so far in the UK because we're a smaller place, but I do have 3 regular clients who drive a couple of hours to see me. They love it, they're spreading the word, and things just seem to be going from strength to strength. So thank you, it's been brilliant.
You're welcome. These kind of stories are what keep me charged up. I juggle a lot of stuff. So it's really, sometimes we have really difficult periods of times where I feel pretty overwhelmed. Lauren and I, my assistant, were just talking about that today. Things happen and then you have to put policies in place to make sure that they don't happen again. Otherwise, you're constantly handling difficult situations, which is something that I do not want to do. I like to wake up every morning and say, okay, but it's like just moving up, moving up, moving up. I don't like to deal with negativity. I just like to be positive. And when you have hurdles thrown in your way, you're like, well, okay, how do we prevent this from ever happening again? Because we don't want to deal with, we want to go positive, positive. So why don't you tell us what keeps you motivated? What makes your heart happy? What keeps you going every single day? Something about your favorite things in your career.
Sure, certainly. Well, I'm so blessed to be working with my husband, who is my best friend and all the rest of it. I don't want to go too cheesy here, but we get on really well. His name is Andy. And so that is a fantastic thing in itself. We moved from quite close to London. It was about 3 hours away down here to set up the business. I live in a beautiful part of the country. I'm in between the hills and the sea. And so I wake up every morning and I look out of my window and I see beautiful English countryside. So that's fantastic. And what makes my heart happy in my business is that I am able to help people. It's great to do fancy manicures and pedicures and things like that. And I love to do nail art. I love, I'm wearing these sort of nice nails now. But even better than that is that I can help people. I had an older gentleman come to me. I have had to send him off to a podiatrist because it was getting a little bit more medical than I could deal with.
Right.
But I don't believe he'd even been able to look at his feet for about 5 years, let alone do anything with them.
Oh my goodness.
He was in such a poor way. He kind of, we were upstairs, so he kind of hauled himself up our stairs, came and sat down in my chair, and he said, I am in such pain. My ankles hurt, my knees hurt, my hips hurt. When he took off his shoes and socks, I understood why. Because his feet were in such a bad way. He wouldn't have been able to put his feet down properly on the floor and walk. He was a relatively fit man. He cycles everywhere. I've seen him in town, but he just couldn't walk. And so I did my very best.
So why do you think that had he seen a podiatrist in the past?
No, absolutely not. He was the kind of man who he told me that he'd looked after his family all of his life, so both of his parents, his sister, and by the time they had sadly passed away, there was no one to look after him. So sad. We used to sad. I used to book out a 90-minute appointment for him even when I didn't need to, because I don't know whether I was the only person he was talking to that day.
Exactly. And some days we are the only people that people see in their lives for the whole week or the whole month, other than going to the grocery store, to the bank, or, just common connections like that. But making a personal connection, having a conversation with people, sometimes we are the only people that people do see. So it's very important to establish client relationships.
So important. And he was a big cricket fan. Taunton is a very big cricket town. I don't expect that your viewers in the States will understand any of that. I don't really, and I'm English, but hey, it's a great day out.
Yeah, it's like football here.
Yeah, for sure. We would have long conversations about cricket, how the team was doing. And after the third visit to me, he called me, rang me the next day and said, I need you to know that my ankles don't hurt anymore since I came to you.
That's fantastic.
So yeah.
I had a similar, someone sent me an email. She drove from New Jersey and said that she hadn't slept on her stomach in 3 years. And the day after her service, she sent me an email and said that she was so happy, she was in tears, that she could barely type the email. in that for the first time in 3 years that she had slept on her stomach. And I was like, that is fantastic. And those are the kind of stories that, you know, I still, people ask me, well, you know, do you only do difficult feet? And it's like, no, 90% of my clients are just normal everyday people. I just don't film those because those, I mean, there are some of those on my channel, but those aren't the ones that people need to learn how to handle when they encounter them. So
Yes.
doing easy pedicures and then doing a difficult pedicures, but those are the ones that really remind you how important our service industry is and why we continue to do things. So why don't you tell everyone how, before you took the course, do you think that you were implementing the same kind of care in your business than you are now? Or how did taking the course benefit you from taking care of people with a little bit more out of the ordinary, normal situations?
Sure. It's just given me so much more confidence. Pedicure training in the UK is a lot different from training in the States, and I suspect elsewhere as well. So although, you know, we are taught anatomy and physiology, so what is going on with the actual feet themselves,
Right.
how to clip and file nails, how to apply polish, that's pretty much it. Because the industry in this country is kind of divided into cosmetic and medical, there doesn't seem to be anywhere any middle ground that your course allows that to happen. So there is no way that I would have had the confidence to deal with, certainly, I mean, not even this gentleman, you know, even someone who's got, you know, toenails that need a good clean.
Right.
Using the tools, you know, I bought a set of your tools.
Yes.
And, you know, unless I went to a medical website, I wouldn't be able to go to my Salon supply store, for example, and buy, you know, the sidewall rasp, for example.
Right.
That wouldn't be available to me. I've
Right.
since that I can, but hey, I've got you now, so you know, there's no need.
Well, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be able to work out all of the logistics and still have you become a distributor of the Meticulous Manicurist in your area. So that would be phenomenal. And then other people in that portion of the world will be able to order, because shipping is tricky from the United States.
It right?
takes a long time, and sometimes things get lost or they sit in customs, and it's just difficult. So hopefully we can get all of those things worked out in the coming months or year. Sometimes things are, you know how it goes with the experience that we've been having in the past 3 months.
Definitely.
All of the training and stuff there. So I was going to mention, when you said there's a area that's missed in between what the UK is teaching you for performing a pedicure and then the medical, which is very strange to me, because the perception of the everyday person when they see a situation and they say, oh, that person should have gone to a podiatrist. But when they go to a podiatrist, podiatrists only trim the nails or remove by surgery an ingrown toenail. Yeah. So people need to understand that it is not a podiatrist's job to clean toenails. They don't do it anywhere. And not only do they don't do it, it's not a service that is covered by insurance. That's why there is a whole other industry for pedicures. So even though something might be unsightly to someone compared to a foot that doesn't have any problems at all, the steps that we do are exactly the same. So I could give somebody a pedicure and clean their cuticles and trim their nails and buff and file and shape and beautify. And then when a client came in with thicker toenails or nail fungus or something, if I clip, file, trim, shape, beautify, do all of the exact same steps, people think, oh, well, that person should have gone to a podiatrist. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're doing the exact same steps. And when someone goes to a podiatrist, they don't do this because they can't bill their insurance. That's why there's two industries. So people need to understand that we aren't doing anything that's considered medical. There's no anesthetic used. There's no blades used. There's no slicing of the skin or doing anything like that. There's nothing that we do by any definition is medical. And the term, people use medical pedicure as a marketing tool, and that is frowned upon by the cosmetology board. And I know in the UK, there isn't a regulatory licensing body. No one comes to inspect or make sure you guys are following the rules. Is that a correct statement?
That's right. Yeah.
So for someone to say, oh, you're not allowed to do that, or they need to go get a medical pedicure, there's no such thing as a medical pedicure. It's only a marketing term. And even in California, here in the States, they have a clause in their state board on their website that says the term medical pedicure should not be used. And I hope to see other states using and adding that to it. Don't use the term. They're not saying don't clean the toenails. They're saying don't use the term because you're misleading the clients. The client is going to come and think they're getting medical attention, and they are not. You're only cleaning, shaping, filing, trimming, making them more comfortable, massaging their foot and stuff like that. So I think there's just a miscommunication and between interpretation by the public, and then even newer nail technicians coming into the field have a perception that there's a section of nail technology that they could go into, and it's not true. They could go work in a podiatrist's office if they wanted to, but then the podiatrist would have to be licensed as a limited cosmetology establishment. So there's definitely a missing segment, and it's just the interpretation of the public that needs to be corrected, I think.
I think that's right. And, what this course is able to do for people is to show them that there is that middle ground. I keep banging on about this with my clients, and particularly with my male clients, because here in the UK, the word pedicure means to most people and a lot of men getting your nails painted, which of course,
right.
These guys of course they're not going to want to do that, and that's absolutely fine. There was an article in GQ magazine, which I think you have over there as well, a couple of years ago, called "Don't Fear the Male Pedicure," and it was such a great article. Actually, one of my male clients sent me the link to it, and he said, "Is this the sort of thing that's going to happen when I come to you?" And yeah, absolutely, that's exactly what it is. I'm going to be able to. Help you with the hard skin on the bottom of your feet that you've had from wearing steel cap toe boots, that sort of thing.
Right.
I can help your nails that you've bashed around from kicking a football, all of that stuff. And so this is going to be such an important thing for changing the way that pedicure not only is taught, but received, certainly in my part of the world, and hopefully all over, I hope.
Yes, because self-care is very important, and people need to get the stigma out of their mind that only women or men who are more feminine men get pedicures. That's not true. Like, someone asked a question in my comment section asking me how many of my male clients were heterosexual. And I was like, that is the strangest question I've ever had. And I I said, you really need to get rid of that stigma thinking, like you think that heterosexual men don't. All of my male clients are heterosexual. So men, you need to go get your feet done, make your wife happy, make yourself more comfortable. There is nothing feminine about it. You're going to get all cleaned up and taken care of. And even Bruce says the reason why men don't go get pedicure, the reason why men don't tell other men that they get pedicures is because they know they'd never be able to get back into the salon because there'd be a long line of dudes standing outside of the building waiting for their service.
For sure, for sure. I don't know whether you find it, but when I get a new male client who has really decided that now is the time to fix his feet after 20 years of, whatever, one of my guys, he's back to me every 2 weeks, and it's like, right, come on, let's do this,
Yeah. Get them fixed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell our audience when you were taking the course, approximately how long did it take? Because it's a pretty long course. I wanted, when somebody becomes part of my network, I wanted to make sure that when a client went to somebody who was certified meticulous manicurist, that they actually performed services in a similar way. So we all had a uniformity, a common thought process and the way that we treat people. So it was very thorough. I think in number of minutes, it's about a 22-hour course. And I think that people don't realize how long it is. Maybe they've taken other courses. They went, to a conference and took a 3 or 4 hour class one day, a little workshop, and they don't realize how in-depth that this course is. So why don't you tell everybody, did you take your sweet time to do it? Or did you want to get it done? And did you just dive in and binge on the videos? How long did it take you to do that course?
Sure. So I think, in terms of learning, I think it works out at around 30 hours when you've sort of studied and worked and, watched the videos, practiced, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had I been able to, I would have absolutely binged the whole thing.
Just would have stayed up for 3 days.
Totally. I just would have, matchsticks on my eyes, all of that stuff. As it turned out, with sort of pressures from work and things, because we were in the middle of lockdown and then not lockdown and back to lockdown again, I had to kind of take my sweet time about it. So I suppose I enrolled in the August of last year. I think it took me probably to about October to qualify. So, but all the time that I was doing it, whenever I could, I was either watching it or re-watching, because of course,
right, reviewing.
Yeah. So if I hadn't done
you have to reinforce that learning, get it into your brain.
Sure, absolutely. So it took me a while, but it was lovely to sort of do that and sort of have the time to kind of absorb everything and make sure that it was up there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So tell me what you are most proud of that you accomplished this year.
I think this year, the fact that I am the first person in the UK to qualify, that is a source of huge pride for me. It's done wonders for my business. Being the first of anything is always good.
Yes.
So I think that to start with, but then I think as well, the fact that I continue to have new clients coming in through the door, word of mouth is spreading, all the time I'm hearing people saying,
right,
so-and-so recommended me, or I hear that you give the most thorough pedicure in Taunton.
Right. So it's sustainable. The education has put you on a track to keep you sustainable forever.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yay. Okay, so what's your biggest takeaway from the course? What's the one thing that you remember most? Some people say, oh, I can hear you in my head when this happens. And you say, is there something special that you remember that you think about a lot?
Yeah, actually, and it's just actually the cleaning of the the cuticles, actually, so now I've got very clearly in my head the steps that you take. That is really, really important. I'm a bit of a procedures girl. Before I did this, I was a lawyer, so I'm big on yeah, I was big on sort of procedures and all of that stuff. So just having something to follow, that I know that, okay, so I've done that, now I'm going to go on to this, now I'm going to go on to that. It just makes it look so much more professional, I think, for the client.
Right.
That when they come back, they know that each time it's going to be the same. She's going to do this, then she's going to do that, then she's going to do that.
So a lot of people who watch the videos just on my YouTube channel, they say, oh, I've learned a lot and it's helped my career. But how much more education did I give you in the course as compared to just watching my video?
Oh, stacks more. It's a whole new. It was almost like going back to the early days of when I was watching your videos as just a watcher, if you like. It felt like I was going back to the beginning. It is so much more in depth, and it fascinated me.
That's great. When I was first creating the course, I had my own insecurities about, is someone going to want to know this? Do they already know this? And then I thought, it doesn't matter. I need to just teach everybody what I've learned over the years and my techniques and processes and the reasons why and the how-tos and the angles and the pressures and the this and the that and all of it. And then when someone would take the course, they were like, holy cow, like, how did you learn all of this? How did you? And I was like, okay, it was good. It wasn't too much or it wasn't too little. And I'm so happy that you guys find value and that it's launching your careers. I mean, you were already established, but now you can see a progression.
Totally. Yeah. And also what's great is that having taken the course, I'm still, tuning in every Friday. I've got my notifications bell.
Yeah, I see you in the comments. I'm like,
oh my word. But I'm finding those videos that you're putting out publicly are really useful for me. So I think there was one lady that you'd had to take her big toenail down quite short. I think it was the lady with the brown toenail.
mm-hmm.
And I came across that a little while ago again. And I love that one. That's one of my favourites anyway. But weirdly, I'd only just kind of watched it, and a couple of days later, I had a new client come in with almost exactly the same thing. So I was like,
how to handle the situation.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's fantastic. So I want everybody to be able to find you. Like I said, this is a celebration of the alumni who have taken my course. So I want you to tell everybody, what does the word Sangha mean?
Yeah, so it's a Buddhist word, so it's Pali or Sanskrit, and it means a community of friends.
That's fantastic. I love that. So I want you to tell them how they can find you, the name. So you've already told us the name of your salon, but tell us again, any website information, if you want to tell them your business phone number, and then we'll also put that in the description in the video so people can click a link to find you. So tell us anything that you want people to know about how to find you.
Sure. Thank you, Laurie. So my business is the Sangha House, and Sangha is spelt Sangha. We're based in Taunton in Somerset. My website is www.thesanghahouse.co.uk. Drop us an email, reception@thesanghahouse.co.uk. Phone is 01823 428 156, and we're on Facebook and Instagram, so if you just search for the Sangha House, you'll find us. We have a Facebook group as well with about 500 people. So that's sort of mostly meant for people who are quite close to the Taunton area, but we welcome people from all over. So yeah, I'm based in a beautiful 19th century former convent. Oh, it's amazing. It's beautiful. My nail room I call the nail chapel. It's
Aw.
got some sort of church windows, and yeah, in my own unmodest opinion, miracles happen there. So come and join me.
So I just want to tell you how proud I am of you for taking that step to invest in yourself. And by investing in yourself, that you're investing in your community, and all good things will find you. I know that, when you want to, you attract people who are most like you. And by putting out the kindness and letting everyone know that you're there to help them, that you're going to attract the people that you need, and that is going to just make a perfect picture. So I'm really happy to have you part of my network. I too count my blessings every single day that I have people in my life or in my network or my connections of people that, relate, that we have similar goals in mind and thought processes, and that I just know that everything is going to work out. And as the years go by, that hopefully the percentage of people who have problems with their feet, those numbers are going to reverse. Right now, there are a less percentage of people with normal feet, more people with problematic feet. And hopefully over the years that switches, that everybody is going to have self-care and taking better care of themselves. And all of the work that we've done is going to have paid off. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank
Laurie,
you for letting me interview you for the Global Meticulous Manicurist Alumni Spotlight. And again, if anybody is interested in taking the training, you can go to pedicuretraining.com and read all about it.
You definitely
All right.
should.
Well, thank you so much, Denise. Do you have any closing remarks that you would like to make?
I just want to say thank you, Laurie, for bringing
You're
this
welcome.
incredible service. You and I are working to try and reverse the way that pedicure is trained and received in the UK, and I look forward to being part of that for a long, long time with you.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to visit my channel. People like you are the reason for my success, and I appreciate it so much. But remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for all the latest videos. Remember, it is free, and I'll see you next time.